Before we continue this video, my friends, what happened is unbelievable. I'm telling you guys first that the reason Flamengo isn't doing so well is this schedule, right? Let's be honest, the Brazilian league never started in January. It usually began in March or April. So the players are still basically in preseason, which explains why you're not doing so well. They'd be playing in the Carioca State Championships. So you can't expect much from the teams right now. Their physical condition won't be ideal. The Brazilian league shouldn't be starting now. This is due to the messed up schedule, period, okay? Flamengo is no excuse for Flamengo. No, with the squad they have, they should be doing much better. They should be ahead of the others. They're not, okay? Let's take this opportunity and talk about what's happening over at Cruzeiro as well. Man, Cruzeiro is signing players and keeping Caio Jorge, but they'll be in trouble if they don't get organized, I'm telling you. They got thrashed and just lost to Coritiba, right? That just proves one thing. I was always right, wasn't I? I even tried to support Tite for a while. I even took my grandma's little medal to Tite to see if it would bring luck, but it didn't help. And the guy, with his convictions and everything, wouldn't change. He was stubborn. When I saw it wasn't going to work at Flamengo anymore, I questioned it, right? I got tired of criticizing. Even after he left, I saw there was nothing left, like the cow heading to the swamp. And then there was that episode where he said the goal was going to happen against Peñarol. The goal was going to happen in Montevideo. When I arrived, I just questioned it, not demanded. I didn't realize they'd already asked in the press room. He got irritated and we argued, but I kept talking. Then the goal happened. Tite, the goal happened. I didn't curse. I didn't do anything. There were people from the press attacking me and everything. Tite's bootlickers, right? The people who suck up to Tite came to attack the influencer, the biased fan, the supporter who had supposedly crashed the press conference. There you have it. Cruzeiro at the start of the season, and Flamengo isn't doing well either. But look at Tite's work at Cruzeiro. It's unbelievable. Tite... Yeah, it's not all that anymore. Tite just doesn't have it anymore. I've been saying this since his time at Flamengo. He's not the same anymore. If anything, I always thought he was overrated, you know? He was always overrated, but even being overrated, he was far from just any coach who made it to the national team and all that. Now that's being proven at Cruzeiro. Soon some coach, maybe Portuguese, will get a call. Want to bet Cruzeiro? I'm really happy with this news here. The National Football League has confirmed the first team that will play in the National Football League Rio de Janeiro game at Maracanã Stadium. Man, Flamengo's supervision, right? Flamengo, which owns 65% of Maracanã and Fluminense too, right? And the Dallas Cowboys will be the home team for the game. They'll play this game in September, man. Fantastic news for those who love the National Football League. The confirmation was made last night by the National Football League in contact with the Fla-Flu management, right? The meeting was at 8:30 in the evening. So we already know that the chief executive officer of Maracanã, Severiano Braga, even celebrated the arrival of the Dallas team to play the game at the stadium. He said the following: "It's a historic honor to see the Dallas Cowboys, one of the most iconic teams in the National Football League, playing at Maracanã. Bringing a world-renowned franchise strengthens our mission to turn the stadium into a global stage for major sports and cultural events." It would be cool if there was a game against the Eagles, right? It was at their stadium that Flamengo actually beat Chelsea. What did you think about the National Football League at Maracanã? Tell me. All right, guys, now it's started, right? Now people are going to start trying to downplay the signing of Lucas Paquetá because he had 2 games where he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good either. He missed a pass, and that led to Inter's goal in the recent Brasileirão match. And man, I'm impressed. I'm here. It's practically the middle of the night, right? I'm going to bed earlier and waking up at night to record and work out. And here we are, just like that. Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. Well, let me continue what I was saying. Now, it's trending to criticize Lucas Paquetá's signing because he had two games that weren't at the same level as what he's been playing recently in Europe, right? They could have paid 60 million pounds to sign him before the betting issue. He's not at the level he plays at for the national team and all that. For God's sake, man, for God's sake, this unfair criticism is too much. It's a lot of envy. And it's even coming from friendly fire, man. Flamengo fans are going along with this, man. It's hard to believe they say Flamengo overspent. Everyone wanted this signing. Everyone was freaking out, celebrating, wanting to party, go to the airport. Man, it's impressive, man. Everyone was excited about the guy's signing. Now, after just two games, that's different, for God's sake. Man, no, man, I can't understand how things can change so fast. And even people who usually criticize, which I didn't expect, on Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, for example, he did really well. He did really well. He spoke. Arias at Palmeiras isn't as influential as Gerson at Cruzeiro or Paquetá at Flamengo. Okay. Why? Paquetá totally looks the part. A player who succeeded and peaked in Europe. Gerson, man, the guy who won everything with Flamengo, the guy who, made it in Europe. Yeah, playing there with Sampaoli, right? He made it at Olympique, man, and at Flamengo too, not to mention the cold in Russia at Zenit. Okay, we can understand that it didn't work out there. Now, guys, it's people, man, they exaggerate too much. Then, Casagrande comes in, right? Starts talking, then everyone starts talking, right? Yeah, now we have to say the following here, right? Flamengo made the biggest signing in history. Yeah, actually, talking about this, what is Lucas Paqueta's ideal position? Could it be that his ideal position is there, playing as a second or third? I believe so, and not on the right. Why am I going to talk to you about this? Globo Esporte even published that Flamengo welcomed Paquetá with a celebration at Maracanã. Large flag and fans wearing jersey number 20. Felipe Luis lined up the most expensive signing in football, 260 million reais as a false nine. Right winger drifting through the middle and creating space for Royal. He wasn't doing well, man. That also has an impact. He had two chances to score, but he also missed the pass that he messed up. At Inter, Felipe Luis praised the player and said he will do more position tests. These tests, for me, that's what matters, okay? Internally, the club is asking for patience. The chemistry is still low, and Paquetá's anxiety stood out on the field. Is that it, man? He played until 18 seconds into the half and everything. Antonio was born, he's back, and will be an option against Sampaio Correa this Saturday. By the way, let's buy tickets, man. Let's give a gift. Game is at 9 post Meridium Saturday at Maracanã. Flamengo needs you, man. Flamengo needs your support. So Royal's moment isn't good, and I'm going to talk about the situation here. One thing leads to another. For example, this issue of about Samuel Lino, this issue with Royal, the issue with Samuel Lino, the issue of positioning. If you're testing Felipe, both Paquetá testing others, why don't you try doing what Simeone did with Samuel Lino? Simeone is the man, right? Isa was talking about this yesterday on her live, and we talked about it on Placar. A player like Samuel Lino, given his cost, must come in and succeed. He has no choice. He was very expensive, so Felipe has to find a solution. He wasn't the one who wanted this signing. He's not a highly rated player. He has to find a solution, find a place, a position where he can play and perform. For example, with Simeone, he played from left wing back to right wing back. He could easily play as a right wing back. Even with Varela there, or even without him, it's all about adaptation because you also have Paquetá who plays on the right and everything else. So, man, I think there's a lot to be tested, especially because Felipe can't lose this position. Cebolinha can't lose his spot anymore. It's that simple. Today, he's the best player, and Flamengo has to renew his contract urgently. So, thinking exactly about who's doing well on the right side, Varela is the starter, right? And Varela gave an interview to Globo Esporte where he talked about the situation, even about the moment Flamengo is going through, and about Emerson Royal. And Varela, man, he's just amazing, right? He said the following: "It's hard for us and for the fans to see this situation, but we are the first to take responsibility for it. We will keep working and trust this squad, which has already brought much joy and still has more to come. This team is eager for victory and winning trophies." Cool. Varela saying that, right? That the team is still hungry? Varela responded to everyone, including me, who said Flamengo lacked desire. He's showing the team is still hungry. Varela, let me say this. Maybe you, Cebolinha, and some others are really hungry, since some players act like they're still in 2025. That's my opinion, but I understand what you're saying. Varela also gave advice to Emerson Royal. Man, I understand it's hard. I've been through it too, but you just have to keep your head up, trust the coach, and believe that things will happen at the right time. Count on the support of the fans, which is very important. The fans won't have patience, Varela. The fans want you as a starter. The fans won't have patience. At Royal, Rodinei had to earn his spot himself. Eventually, fans saw he was worth it. So the situation with Royal is very difficult. What do I think Felipe Luis could do, right? First, the solution for Samuel Lino, I've already said, is to play him on the right, as the right wing back. Simeone made the decision regarding Samuel Lino's situation while at Atletico de Madrid. The other situation is Varela as a starter and Royal coming in when the game is already decided, when it's a calmer match. He comes in during the second half, not starting the game, and he's actually doing well. He's confident, like, come on, man, that's it. You can't slack off. Otherwise, you're going to lose a 9 million euro investment, which I thought was expensive at the time. Royal's signing was expensive, 9 million euros, and you can't think about losing that much money, right, guys? We're discussing Royal, Samuel Lino for over 20 million euros, and now Paquetá at 42. I'm sure he'll succeed. You can hold me to it later. Whoever is criticizing today will talk later, because what I'm seeing in the media is everyone bashing him, saying that signing Arias is better than signing Paquetá. Yeah. Signing Paquetá isn't as significant as Arias, and it cost even more. I see. We're seeing everything. Our friend Daniel from Mengo Cria is there. He said, if Lucas Paquetá is out of rhythm, he should play official matches, even against Sampaio Correa. Training doesn't give you rhythm. Rhythm is built by competing. This, by the way, puts an end to Felipe Luis's excuses about the team not being at their peak emotionally, physically, and rhythmically. Yeah, man, so what is it? You're going to get into rhythm and reach your peak? If you don't have a sequence and you're changing everything all the time, if you don't have a starting lineup, you're changing everything all the time. It's complicated. And I agree with that. There you go. We had Julio Gomez telling me Paquetá is that player who, in one match, will miss a pass and give a goal to the opponent like he did yesterday. Paquetá is an inconsistent player. That's why I think Paquetá is overrated. I'm telling you guys, man, I'm telling you, people are going to attack because it really bothers them to see Flamengo spending the money they spent and bringing in a player of Lucas's caliber, Paquetá, and then it only took 2 games for people to start attacking. Bagri Neto is attacking, Paquetá is talking and mocking him for missing the goal, saying, look what Corinthians did to Flamengo. Besides winning the title, they weakened them. That doesn't make any sense, man. Flamengo was exhausted when they faced Corinthians. That's the issue. Flamengo didn't lose their strength afterwards, man. Flamengo needs to find themselves again. That's the reality, right? And then the guys are attacking, right? Yeah, they kept pressuring, talking about Lucas Paquetá. It's everyone against Lucas Paquetá trying, right? See if they mess with the player's head even more, to see if he takes longer to not do well, to see if they can make things go wrong. Because, man, it's impressive the envy we see. These guys are jealous of Flamengo, man. Flamengo bothers a lot of people, and Flamengo has made the biggest signing in Brazilian football. These guys get upset. There are even people out there saying that Flamengo, that it's a matter of financial fair play, right? Is that it, huh? Carlos Eduardo Lino on Sport Television. Look at this, man. Look how absurd this comment from Carlos Eduardo Lino is. I think it's ridiculous. And Flamengo inflating the market, right? It's Flamengo inflating the market. When it comes to John Arias, right? His words, I think it's ridiculous. As long as you don't think like a league, don't think about financial fair play, competing is one thing, but coming in just to inflate the market is another. He's criticizing the move that BAP said he would make, which is to throw out the bait, the trap for the clubs, for them to go into debt to try to keep up with Flamengo. And Flamengo is there and has the right to try to sign players, and everyone has always done this with Flamengo. That time when Flamengo was going through hard times, when Flamengo was in debt, when Flamengo was all messed up, those guys would go and sign players and leave Flamengo empty-handed. How many times did that happen? Flamengo wanted to sign a player, and those guys would go there and sign him. Flamengo now does this, raising other teams' deals even without signing the player. Right over there, the guy is a little upset. Carlos Eduardo Lindo saying that he thinks it's ridiculous. Flamengo is driving up the price for John Arias. Flamengo has increased John Arias' price because they got involved in the deal. Palmeiras and Fluminense both need to pay more if they want him. He says, as long as you don't think like a league or about financial fair play, it's one thing to compete, but another to just drive up prices. Like they never did any of that against Flamengo, right? It's unbelievable. And then comes Mr. Juca Kifuri, who has already criticized Paquetá and company and says this. Whoever was at Maracanã saw the reality, right? We know that. We know the fans supported the team for the whole 90 minutes, and the boos after the terrible performance at home happened as usual. Flamengo's fans put on the pressure when needed to keep the team from getting too comfortable. Due to this, even Mango creates. Our partner says we've never been relegated. Unlike fans who constantly applaud their team, even in bad matches, but end up with weak management and get relegated to the second division. That's the case with your Corinthians, Juca Kifuri. It's the case with your Corinthians, Juca Kifuri, where the fans, as you say, support the team even when they're losing, right? They clap even when they're losing. That's why they've already been relegated twice, right, Corinthians? Or 3 times, I know they've already been relegated. Man, they're part of the relegated group, and then he comes to talk. This nation didn't learn from the field and booed Flamengo, but it was a penalty. What an unnecessary comment. Mauro Cesar already shut him down, right? Mauro Cesar said exactly this kind of comment, right? Ridiculous. Mauro and Juca, we know they've already exchanged a few barbs, and the same Juca talking nonsense. That Flamengo made a mistake in planning by letting him go, right? By making the starters come back from vacation earlier. Felipe Luis didn't have the courage. The courage that Dorival Jr. had to leave Rodrigo Garo, one of the best players on the team, on the bench because he wasn't physically well. He is, look at that. The thing is, if Felipe doesn't put him in either, Paquetá and Arrascaeta don't play these guys. People will say they're resting them and still lost. On that, I'll defend them. They're trying every way to attack my brother. I'll tell you, they'll say all sorts of things, right? Anything we can imagine. Things will get tough, but we'll defend Flamengo, right? Especially, and it's not about defending because of bias or being a fan, it's about defending the truth, defending the truth. What's happening is shameful, it's shameful. Look, and out of all of them, Oswaldo Pascal was the one who, for me, said it best. Arias at Palmeiras isn't as impactful as Paquetá at Flamengo. It's not that simple. Is that right? So we just got another important piece of information here. Even Dorival Jr. praised Flamengo's team. Flamengo is a very skilled team, and even with 10 men, they had more possession. This shows the team's ability. Corinthians needed determination to try to neutralize an almost unbeatable team. Look at Dorival talking about Flamengo. They neutralized an almost unbeatable team, but they only managed to do that because of Corinthians' determination. He's saying everything I said in the post-game. If you watch here, you know I talked about it in the post-game, okay? Yeah, now, just to show you here the importance of Flamengo having a squad to compete in the Copa do Brasil this year, Flamengo can't afford not to win the Copa do Brasil. This year, it's the first round. I think Flamengo enters in the third round, if I'm not mistaken, or the fourth. Okay, I don't remember. Now, they enter a round earlier, maybe the fifth, since there are more rounds now, if I'm not mistaken. From the round of 16, they get 2 million in the round of 16, 3 million in the quarterfinals, 4 million, that's already 9. In the semifinals, another 9 million, so that's 18 million total. Then you still get another 78 million if you're the champion. Okay, so we're talking about 96 million. Flamengo comes in, that's right, enters in the fifth round of the Copa do Brasil and can make 96 million. Okay? That's the highest amount. The prize money for the Copa do Brasil is huge, and the champion and Flamengo can't give that up. This year, the champion, with the squad Flamengo has, can win and take home 96 million. It's important to win the Copa do Brasil, to win the Libertadores, which also has a huge prize. All of that is very important, okay? Don't fall for this shameful, absurd persecution from part of the media. And many Flamengo fans are buying into this and downplaying, belittling the signing of Lucas Paquetá compared to the signing of John Arias. This is a shame. This is absurd, okay? And I'll say it again. The solution for Royal is for him to come on in the second half in games that are already more settled until he adapts. Perfect. So even the fans can see that he can improve just like Rodinei did and so on. Samuel Lino's solution might be to play him on the right wing like Simeone did. Hope you enjoyed it. If you watched until the end, comment, I stayed until the end. Papa, what did you think of my comments and analysis? I'm here in the middle of the night working out and bringing you news about Mengo. I go to bed early, wake up in the middle of the night just like a soldier. While I'm here training and getting ready to really hit the workout hard, right? And I'm gonna lift some heavy weights now to gain muscle mass. Bringing you information, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Big hug. Thanks.